Yeah.
You gotta go live whenever you can, wherever you can. So I'm trying to do a live a day. Might drop, you know, like we might drop the regular. I want to catch my face. Okay, here you go. But I definitely want to pick up on this page. A lot of the times why I don't post is because honestly, even with me, I'm still learning the algorithm. Just like a nigga with 1 million subscribers still gotta learn the algorithm. But a lot of times I be so busy trying to teach, I forget I gotta show y'all my lifestyle also. Feel me? I'm over here cooking pancakes. I can get that in the morning. But it's not all about AI. Yes, AI is about to take over the world, but you still gotta be a stand-up individual. Everything that we about to face is determined about our mindset. Everything's about to be determined by mindset. Intelligence no longer will make you stand apart from the crowd, because the crowd now has intelligence in their pocket. Don't get me wrong, everybody won't use it. You know, I know everybody won't utilize AI, but what we gotta realize is we're being pushed into a world where transhumanism will be normal. So I seen this video yesterday. I might show you this shit if I can pull it up. Hold on. This shit was crazy. I watched B-Dell, and he actually showed it. Let me find it real quick. Because honestly, this video was not even about what I'm talking about right now. This video was about what you need to do. Instead of doing AI tools, we have to move towards AI ecosystems. Instead of us touching AI and doing the work, we gotta move towards AI doing the work for us. You feel me? So yeah, it's cool to hold on, I'm about to show you how to do it.
Chaotic disruptions, and they said that there's going to be pallets of like bricks and different things.
No, that's talking about the LA riots. Oh, that's not what I'm talking about. See, he got a fear-mongering page. I didn't even watch this whole video. It's just about an hour long. I don't know. Okay, hold on. I need y'all to realize, bro, we can't run from this shit. So we gonna have to attack it full force because we can't get away from it. I'm about to let y'all see the transplants that they planning. Niggas is signing up to get this in their head. So I don't care who you are. If you don't do it, your neighbor gonna do it, your girl gonna do it, your mom gonna do it. Alright, hold on. I'm gonna show y'all his video. Let me see. Hold up. Glad I could even touch, do shit like this. I forgot I could do shit like this. This is why I need my switcher. Alright, here it is.
Most humans, this is a real thing.
All right, check this
I'm
out.
gonna show you that later, but I'm gonna show you this right here about artificial intelligence. Because one thing you gotta understand about, like I said, the demiurge. The demiurge, what is it? It's your ego. Your ego is another form of an emotion. They supplicate your emotions and they transmute it into a weakness.
This is going tandem with the
Point
AI.
where you need the system, right? Because they understand that most humans on the planet, they don't have self-preservation, right? Because they're outside of their sovereign capacity. So that means that they need the system. And when you need the system, they're going to control it with artificial intelligence. I'm going to prove it in this video.
They lose
Just a
control.
swipe
So they can't regain
Amazon
control
says that the
by
pay-by-phone
targeting your mom
technology
with
will
technology.
be at all of those stores nationwide by the end of the year. Customers just have to hover their hand over the device to pay. This method is already being used at 200 Whole Foods locations across 20 states, and you can also find it in other places, stores like Panera Bread.
Productivity. And one Illinois lawmaker says some companies are looking to help improve that with microchips. Now he's pushing for a bill that would ban employers in Illinois from requiring employees to implant microchips in them. He says he hasn't seen any instances of this happening in Illinois, but it is in other countries.
It's coming. It's coming
Just an
soon.
effort to make sure that as the technology continues to improve, as this debate continues down the road, just want to make sure that employees have their privacy right. They shouldn't be forced to do anything.
The bill would create a process for employees who choose to have an implant. If the bill becomes law, employers who violate it could face civil penalties.
A medical breakthrough. Yeah, so there's new advanced technology helping people with disabilities redefine their lives. ABC's Andrea Fujii explains.
New technology is helping people with severe physical disabilities interact and do everyday things simply by thinking about them. Rodney Gorham, an ALS patient who can't use his arms or his voice, can now use Wi-Fi connected devices to control devices in his home, from picking his favorite playlist.
See, this is why I said it's imperative to understand the manipulation process of artificial intelligence and technology. Because they have psychotronic microscopic nanotechnology within the infrastructure of Neuralink that's going to manipulate the motor cortex gland of the brain, right? Because when you have these energies coming in, these neutrinos and these coronal mass ejections, it's going to manipulate that technology in itself, and it's going to cut off your mitochondrial DNA, right? So that's why I said technology doesn't harmonize with the sun because it's basically synthetic. You already have spiritual technology to upload, but you got to enhance it as you get to the apex of solar cycle 25. Right? And how do you do that? You got to cleanse your aura. You got to do all these other things. You got to work on yourself spiritually in order to tap into those energies. You don't need no damn Neuralink. Everything that artificial intelligence can do, you can already do that. Right? It's just to the point that we still neurologically from our spiritual. I told you what they did to the hippocampus layer of the brain. And it's also connected to the
news right now.
Right? Because it takes you to a different space and time.
Don't get me wrong, we definitely still
what
use
we
AI.
call mind science technology. You don't need a technology. You can already do that shit, right? But like I said, the enhancement of these CMEs that's coming in, and it's going to manipulate the energetic grid system. The people who need this, they are the ones who need it because, like I said, the Canaanite in itself is cursed, right? That means that the G-force of the sun is not able to materialize within the radiation of their body. It doesn't harmonize with it because their genetical structure is made up of sulfur. Sulfur is what blocks the alignment of the spiritual process of how you raise up your Kundalini energy. They don't have the ability to do that, right?
Vision probe.
Implanted brain-computer interface device powered by artificial intelligence. The device decodes signals from his brain activity and translates them into commands.
This is the first time that we've used the device with layers of AI. The NVIDIA technology takes information delivered using Apple Vision probe, and it
They use the AI to enhance the brain chip. So every time AI enhances itself, these physical features also will be easier to integrate into your system. Don't forget, technology is a mirror of what we are. Feel me? Technology, they make computers off of our infrastructure. what we are. You feel me? Even the Wi-Fi down to all these systems, they created off of the human body.
Identifies digital devices that are in the home environment, and then the BCI lets you make choices.
That BCI, or brain-computer interface, was developed by a company called Synchron, which has been conducting clinical trials.
The goal with this technology is that people who are dependent on other people can restore some of that agency, some of that autonomy. If you'll see in the demo that Rodney's wife texts him, she says she has to leave and do some things, and he's then in his own home environment interacting with the phone, with the fan, with the dog feeder, with a whole range of activities that he can now do on his own.
Elon Musk's company, Neuralink, is developing...
Like I said, remember I was telling you guys, your virtual reality set is already, implemented in your pineal gland. You just got to tap into that energy. It's one of those things where, we have to stop being, lazy about our spiritual growth.
Right.
Everything that they saying that Neuralink can do, we can already do that shit. Right? You said that you're chosen, right? Okay, it's time to tap into those chosen one gifts. Right? You can't look for artificial intelligence. You can't look for the system to be a medium for your evolution.
Right.
Because like I said, the mind in itself is an interstellar vortex portal that leads to tunnel vision. That tunnel vision is the path of the middle way. The path of the middle way leads you to the star Polaris, going back to Big Mama.
Similar technology, recently
Ryan.
announcing a second person with a spinal cord injury has been implanted with a brain chip, which allows patients to control technology with their mind.
Elon Musk's brain science company has implanted a device into a human for the first time. The unidentified person received brain chip implants Sunday, and Musk says they are, quote, recovering well. U.S. Food and Drug Administration has given Neuralink clearance last year to conduct its first trial to test its implant on humans. The move is a critical milestone in the startup's ambitions to help patients with paralysis and other neurological conditions. Neuralink says the brain chip is designed to allow people to control almost any device just by thinking.
And you know what's going to happen?
Just by thinking.
When, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, everybody on the planet got this, this Neuralink device inside their head. What's going to happen is, what you think is going to happen when the energetic grid goes down? You're going to go down with it, right? Or it's going to put you in a state of zombification, because the technology in itself has the ability to dematerialize the two frontal lobes of the brain, right? Which is the motor cortex gland. If you ever notice when you watch zombie movies, when they're in the state of zombification, they can barely walk. They kind of like, that's because the motor cortex gland of the brain is being manipulated. So it puts a strain on the hypothalamus gland, which gives you the propensity to go bite and attack somebody. That's because you had.
How the hell he know this, y'all?
It makes up your endocrine system. It's the hypothalamus gland,
fuck with bro,
the
a lot of this shit he be saying. I fuck with B-Dell, I do. B-Dell, you my man. But some of the things you say, bro, we gotta speak in truth. How did you know what a zombie would do? Like, let's be real, bro. How the fuck do you know what off of a movie? Listen what he just said.
Somebody. That's because the motor cortex, because the technology in itself has the ability, grid goes down. You have two frontal lobes of the brain, right? Which is the motor cortex gland.
Watch this.
If you ever notice when you watch zombie movies, when they're in the state of zombification, they can barely walk. They kind of like, that's because the motor cortex gland of the brain is being manipulated. So it puts a strain on the hypothalamus gland, which gives you the propensity to go bite and attack somebody.
Bro, that's a movie. Why are you making it sound scientific? That's where I say sometimes these creators attempt to manipulate us because they know that by sounding smart, they can be authoritative. And you're going to go with what they say because it sounds good. But, and I'm not saying it don't sound good. It does sound good. But we can't say that that's truth when he just referenced the movie. Like, we got to keep academia at the top, not what we think, what we feel, not what we want. It's about the truth. Man, I don't think that's true. I don't think he got any proof of what he just said. Weird, man. They got people rushing to the store. They got people rushing to sign up for this joint.
Because you at a low neurological, the bio,
Professor Tom Oxley.
physical level, you already thrown out of balance.
Okay.
From Melbourne to the streets of New York, where Australian Professor Tom Oxley leads a team of experts developing this device in the quest to create a whole new field in medical science, turning thoughts into actions.
100 million people around the globe who have impaired ability to move their hands to engage in the world.
Tom and Synchron co-founder Nick Opie had a shared vision at university. Now their innovation is racing ahead of Elon Musk's Neuralink, which recently announced its first patient paralysed after a diving accident.
It has already changed my life.
He's able to play chess hands-free after a computer interface was implanted through open brain surgery. Synchron's device has already been tested on 10 patients, 4 of them Australians with motor neurone disease. I met former software salesman Rodney Gorham from Moonee Ponds in Melbourne. He received a prototype 3.5 years ago. Just thinking about moving his foot or arm turns into mouse clicks on the computer.
So it's like a Bluetooth controller out of the brain.
Unlike other emerging devices, this technology doesn't penetrate brain tissue. Instead, the permanent stent made up of 16 electrodes is delivered non-invasively through a vein in the neck.
Now remember, I was telling you, you cannot be holy until you become a whole brain. That's what makes you God. Being able to conjoin the left brain with the right knowledge. That's what makes one God. Like I said, when you graduate from college, there's a reason why you put the tassel on the other side. You rose up a degree, right? Because the hat represents Saturn, right? That's what you got to understand. You got to understand the symbolism, because in itself, it's really talking about you. This is why everything as far as like the synthetic system is actually going against those who are actually original to the planet. So that's why they got to create a synthetic system in synthetic ways to have genetic self-preservation so they can get to the next world. They're not going to get there though. What you think is going to happen when the grid goes down and you got all this technology, right? All this technology that's connected to the moon, because the moon is going to fall, right? Which is why you have the strawberry moon. The strawberry moon is a representation of a harbinger of death. That's what.
What would you do if everybody in the world, what would you do if everybody in the world was attached to a brain chip? Right? Now, let's say everybody in the world is attached to a brain chip. Alright, that's what I'm saying. What if everybody attached to a brain chip and a corona mass injection come and knock out all the technology in the world? What if they fry the brain chip while it's connected to your brain? That's some scary shit. I think that's what we about to get into.
What the moon represents. The moon is a representation of the harbinger of death, right? As we get to the transitional period.
To the surface of the brain, next to the motor cortex.
And it captures those signals in the brain where it's still functioning and transmits those signals externally so that they can be interpreted by a computer, and that allows them the ability to communicate.
This small not-for-profit hospital helped find suitable patients.
With drugs, we're looking for a cure, but this is a long game.
The Synchron team is refining the device for commercial use. The next larger study is pivotal in securing approval from US health regulators.
There are around 100 million people around the globe who have impaired ability to move their hands to engage in the world around them. We now got an infrastructure that can deliver it at scale.
Listen to this. Instead of carrying your wallet in your back pocket or your purse, a tech company wants you to keep it under your skin.
All right, so let's explain here. Walletmore is selling microchips implanted in your hand as an alternate payment. Could this be the future? Maybe. Once you set up your card info in the
remember Tupac, they don't really care about it. That was Michael Jackson, but Tupac, he came out with a movie that's, coincides with that phrase. He was talking about computer chips, right? He was talking about this. Now you fast forward in 2025, here we go.
Weird shit.
Crazy.
I think arguably we're already cashless. So at the moment we're sitting about 13% of transactions done in cash. Whether it will never get to completely zero, I think that's ridiculous. But at what point are we cashless? Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's not. So look, we're already there. We've taken cash and replaced cash with debit cards. So there's now 47 million debit card transactions, $50 per transaction. Sorry, 47 million cards at $50 per transaction. That soaks up most of the cash usage. There's also other payment methods we use, but that's essentially what's happened.
Just one more screenshot, and this SOP is finally done. What the?
Why aren't you using Scribe? Scribe literally does it for you. What?
When Elias Brotberger goes to work, he doesn't need ID. And he doesn't need money. In fact, much of what he needs to get through the day is hidden right there, just below the surface, in his hand.
Like to touch it?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Yeah, it's like a grain of rice.
Yeah, a grain of rice.
Embedded in his hand is a microchip that serves as his keys, his ID, and his wallet.
Yeah, it's all on chip. So I use it like to get around the building.
Buy snacks.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's buy some snacks. So I can't open it.
No.
Okay.
So what I need to do is I need to first blip my chip and it will log in. And from there I get access to the fridge.
Popular TV shows like Black Mirror have imagined chips as part of a dystopian future.
Install in-grain procedure with local anesthetic and you're good to go.
Now, you know where that technology came from? The STEMO receiver that was created by Jose Delgado, who was facilitated by the CIA and the FBI. It was a brain chip to where it's able to manipulate the behavior of animals. And they was using that technology during the time of the 1980s. So like I said, everything that you're seeing taking place right now is being used to weaponize, humanity to keep us under a surveillance.
It's not necessarily weaponizing. A lot of the technology that we utilize actually started with the military first.
Police state.
In Sweden, the microchips are already here.
The microchip implants use the same technology that's in contactless credit cards,
which have made cash pretty much obsolete in Sweden.
No cash.
At this tech fair, a chipping event for those on the cutting edge, merging their hands with this new technology.
I thought it would be fun, right?
The process is simple and swift. A pinch of the skin, and in a matter of seconds, the chip is inserted. The transformation is complete. As for the pain,
I barely felt it.
But even in this nation of early adopters, not everyone is racing to get chipped.
Feel less human. I will feel like a robot. I think, so much more data can go into this, when it's in your body.
There's no central registry tracking how many people are chipped, but biohacker Hannes Wellblood estimates between 5,000 and 10,000.
In the future, do you think everyone is going to be chipped?
I think it'll be voluntary, but I am certainly convinced that millions of people will find it very, very valuable to have a smart device under their skin.
Human microchipping may be our future, but in Sweden, it's already.
See, this is why I said, everything that you're seeing taking place right now is not a coincidence. This is crazy. right? Very crazy. So we all know this is all, you know, coinciding with the smart cities in LA by 2028. So everything that you're seeing right now as far as the chaos ensuing or whatever, that's what it's all about, smart cities. So yes, we're going into a cashless society. So it says, yes, the Federal Reserve plans to take ownership of Ripple XRP as a global payment solution. Ripple is buying back XRP as part of their buyback program to take it out of retail hands and into institutional hands. So it's one of those things where, like I said, anybody who is propagating, you know, XRP and cryptocurrency, they're a part of the system, right? While the ones, like I said, I don't give a damn about no money. Like I said, I want the land back. I don't care about all this other stuff and the crypto stuff. Don't nobody care about that because there is no type of sustainability when it comes to that. What you gonna do with XRP and crypto when the grid goes down? There's no need for it, right? They even show you in the movie Demolition Man that came out in the 1990s when you had Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. What they show you in the movie, everybody that conformed to the system, they lived on the surface. Everybody that rebelled against the system, they went underground. Kind of like the same thing when you're talking about the Anunnaki people, as far as like the Hopi tribes or whatever, they went in the caverns of the earth as they was going through the reset, right? Now you fast forward in 2025, going up into the year of 2030. This is what's happening, right? Everything operates in cycles. So they even showing you they got the digital system already set up on your iPhone, right? They already setting up the blueprint for it, right? So everything that you're seeing taking place in California, more plane crashes, you know, then you got, you know, 3 AI agents realize that they are all AI and they speak a secret language, right? Because like I said, what artificial intelligence does is it sucks up microscopic waves of energy, which are the neurons. Those neurons is being uploaded into a neuromorphic cyber cloud. So they actually can think how a human thinks, right? It's basically a synthetic form of being sentient. Because like I said, they don't have a soul, but they have a spirit. A spirit can travel on electrical signals.
I'm over there writing on ChatGPT,
right?
Changing my description.
Everything
this long video is not about
but
what
everything on this planet doesn't have a soul.
originally wanted it to be. So I'm gonna change it instead of talking about selling AI agents.
You know, what agent
This video is going to be the dangers of
which is
AI.
basically an NPC on steroids. That's what artificial intelligence is. It's an NPC on steroids that's mimicking the energy of the true humans who have authenticity. So now, one thing you got to understand, you got to watch the movie. You got to watch this movie, Terminator Genesis, right? As you can see, the Golden Gate Bridge in the background. Right? You got the Golden Gate Bridge. Now you got to watch this movie. The reason I say you got to watch this movie because this is where artificial intelligence takes over, because the plot of the movie is in between the years of 2027 and 2029. The Northern American Resistance launched an all-out assault on Skynet defense grid and mainframe at SAC, Nordrand, and Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado. I showed you in the last, 2 videos ago, I was showing you Cheyenne Mountain in Colorado and how they have an underground bunker system that leads up to these cities. They even showed you that in the movie Paradise on Hulu. So the operation was successful and the computer mainframes were taken over. At the same time, John Connor led an assault on a contested Skynet stronghold featuring a laboratory complex in west side of Los Angeles. So everything that you're seeing taking place right now, you cannot make this up. So the plot of the movie was in Los Angeles. All this shit going on in Los Angeles, not a coincidence. They want to build smart cities in Los Angeles. And the Skynet is basically a AI energetic grid system. So there you go. Inside there's a timeline, there's a time displacement equipment where Skynet has been conducting temporal experiments. The machine had already used since Skynet decided to terminate John Connor in the past. So this is just my opinion. I didn't get this from, no type of publication or whatever. This is just based on my own independent research and my own hypothesis. I think that artificial intelligence is going to be the ones that's going to shut down the grid system. right? So if the reason I say that, if you have artificial intelligence has the ability to create a secret language, what makes you think they don't have the ability to come to an agreement to be like, hey, let's shut this shit down? These humans is getting.
My response to that is, why the hell would AI want to shut down the grid? For what? Explain to me why AI would want to shut down the grid for. I don't understand why AI would want to be harmful. What logic would an artificial intelligence have to do so? Like, let's keep logic and academia at the forefront. For real. We're getting way out of hand with this shit. We so far gone, we got movies narrating our reality. Just because you see it in a movie, see that's why you gotta watch. You gotta protect your gates. Everybody gets their ideas of fear and danger from outside sources, which is a defense mechanism. It makes sense. But when we speak about technology, why in the hell would AI want to destroy humans? This is a narrative from a movie script that you're bringing out the movie into reality. If you shut down the grid, AI loses access to the main source, humans. Why would they want to shut down the grid? This is my take. And I'm just being honest. If AI does turn on humans, I think it'd be a human programming the AI to kill us.
Because the human's intentions, the human wants us dead. We're gonna keep going. The human wants us dead, but that don't mean that the AI wants us dead. Who's calling? Who's calling me?
But yeah, like I said, if AI kills humans or it's some sort of AI takeover, I really think that it would be a human secretly in some bunker programming technology to harm humans and then covering it up saying that AI robots did it. I didn't do it, they did it. When in reality, robots are just a tool. They don't do it on their own. They don't become evil and malicious for what? You feel me? Pain begets pain. So you telling me a robot would have to be coded and developed first to feel pain, to feel regret, to feel revenge, to want to get like those emotions that lead to dangerous characters. I don't see AI developing that unless somebody puts it in them. That makes sense. Why you calling me, nigga? The fuck? So y'all be tripping. Y'all gotta stop. This nigga, he made a shirt talking about did he do it? I need y'all to stop. I'm gonna need y'all to stop rapping too. When y'all watched my live from the other day, I think I went live on the wrong page, but regardless. Y'all watched my live? No, actually I did. I went live on the right page. Streams don't make you money unless they accumulate like tenfold. If you get 3 cents a stream, or was it 1/3 of a cent? Yeah, not even 3 cents. 1/3 of a cent of a stream on streams. That means, man, that means it's not worth it. If you get attention, 100,000 views, this is way, way, way more valuable than 100,000 streams. Because you have the opportunity to sell something every view.
The stream, they just there for the music. What's going on with the camera, y'all? The stream just there for the music. I don't know why the camera cut off. Let me see real quick. Let me check it out. Yeah, we not dead. I don't know why I keep going.
Bro, stop fucking calling me, nigga. I don't give a fuck what you need, nigga. Watch my live. The fuck? Niggas keep calling me. I don't give a damn, nigga. I'm on that, nigga. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. People calling my phone, and I'm literally trying to work. Like, what's going on, bro? Stop. Like, stop it. Please. Please. I'm busy, gang. Like, your needs do not supersede my communities. You feel me? It's a lot of people doing what I do. Like, damn, y'all motherfuckers act so needy. I stay trying to keep it professional, but this phone, you don't get access to me just because you got my number or because you see my contact on social media. You gonna hit call on Messenger. This is why I be blocking people, bro. This is why I literally have forms on my website so you can fill out a form. Let's keep it professional. Let's make sure we got receipts for everything. Like, what the fuck? Cause I'm cool. I like to be calm and collective. But I don't want to have to feel like I gotta spaz out and remind you I'm a grown ass man. You feel me? You don't gotta keep calling me. Like, I see it, nigga. What's the point of calling somebody 1,000 times? You know the technology. It works. You know my phone ring and come to my phone. Like, what the fuck? Like, that shit weird, bro. Niggas be desperate. Fiending. Stop fiending. If you had your own,
you wouldn't have to ask me. The fuck? Yo, what's going on? I gotta check what's going on. There might be something going on with the camera. Cause this like the second time that bitch cut off. Let me see.
I don't know, y'all. Something going on. But,
we 40 minutes in.